car guy.
All right, this is Under the Lip, Eurowise, Mike.
I'm a little nervous. I wake up thinking about cars. I go to bed at midnight thinking about cars. This is my 964, and this was like one of my first Porsches that I bought. I'm a car fiend. Summer of high school, Fast and Furious came out, and I was obsessed. I became known for the guy that put in stereos for all the students in school.
He's also building out fiberglass custom speaker boxes, and he's probably 15 years old. And all of us were looking around at Mike like, where did you learn how to do that?
Most people who are in the industry are passionate about cars. Mike is really passionate about everything from start to finish.
My gears are always turning 24/7, you know? Sometimes I wish I could turn it off.
His brain is constantly spinning.
You have to have a passion. You don't luck into something like this.
He's had the gift his entire life.
It's just my life, it's my passion.
Mike had something in his brain that was wired a little bit different.
My mom and dad were really, really hard workers, or refugees actually from Vietnam. Came here with no family, no friends, and just, you know, came from the bottom. When my dad grew up, he was a boat mechanic. He was actually the person that they were having fix the boats, like traveling over from Vietnam during the war. And he was the guy doing the boats. And then when he came to America and they came to California, he was a mechanic. So I think my mom didn't want me to follow in his footsteps. She wanted me to have a better life and be more maybe white collar industry. But I think that wasn't what I wanted. You know, I wanted to do what my passion was, and cars were my passion. Like I just lived and breathed the cars like in high school.
They always want something more for you, more for your kid, you know, well, but that's just the old school mindset in a way. Because of that, it reinforced a do or die kind of mentality for Mike.
You know, my parents, they said, you do this, you do it right, this mechanic school, and you don't, you know, miss school and you make good grades, and we'll let you do it. But if you fail, then you're going straight to four-year college. During that time, I bought a house in Charlotte, and I had a 2-car garage. I was doing stuff on the side, and I had friends ask me to do, you know, things on their cars.
We were moonlighting in the garage. Like I would work at the dealership all day, and then he would work at the shop he was working at, and then afterwards, nonstop car shop until he finally rented out the space across the street.
I was making more money working on the weekends and after hours than my own job. So I told my mom, I think I want to open my own shop. So I did it. I took a leap of faith. We moved in, and I bought one little scissor lift that I bought for $1,000 off Craigslist, and just started slowly ramping up. And I want to say 6 months into it, I hired my first employee, and
I left the dealership entirely and worked here full time.
To this day, he still works for me. Ronnie, I'm gonna pretend to talk to you. I had a friend, and he said, hey, like, I have this Volkswagen Rabbit. I want to put this VR6 engine in it, but nobody sells anything that makes it possible to put in it, but I want to do something cool and different. And I said, okay, let me try to do it for you. So we invented this bolt-in engine conversion kit, and again, it blew up. There were guys all over the place that wanted to buy this kit because what was once impossible and said that couldn't be done was done. And you know, that's kind of what sparked the creative side of what I loved in cars was, what else can I make?
Eurowise performance was the thing that once he built it, he could actually follow the passion rather than doing just the service. And that allowed him to connect with all sorts of people to hook up all sorts of crazy freaking cars.
We started doing so much performance work, I decided that we would split the business to put one in one building and one in the other, just not to confuse people. And then after that, once we got into the fabrication side of business, we started fabricating exhaust systems, turbo kits, you name it, right? We were known for the guys that were building custom one-off projects for guys in town. And it just took off. So I expanded an additional location here in Charlotte, and then we also opened a dealership/service shop in Charleston, South Carolina. I was just juggling so many things, driving to 4 different locations every single day, and it's just the quality of my business and life and mental health was just not where I wanted to be.
And you could tell he was running with kind of the wrong crew.
I was partying, I was getting into a lot of trouble. I wasn't like focused, I wasn't handling the business the way it should have been. People were quitting, staff wasn't happy, and I wasn't making any money. It was just a bad part of my life. And I met Sally.
Mike and I met through mutual friends.
Way out of my league, but I'm gonna shoot my shot. And I got her number, and I said, let's have lunch or drink sometime. And we met up, and the rest is history.
When Mike and I started dating, he didn't have that backbone to the business of financials.
She straightened my life back up and got me on the right track again. And she's a numbers person. She's very organized, but me being stuck on, old processes, it really held us back. So she was really adamant about, we need to upgrade. We need something modern. And I think like the yin and yang was like meant to be. Like God brought us together, and it was like perfect. She's a big part of why we are where we are today. So in 2019, I saw a friend modify his Porsche Cayenne, and I thought it was really cool. And I found a Cayenne for $6,900, drove 20 minutes and picked it up with my wife. And I told her, I was like, I want to make some parts for this car. She thought I was crazy. She's like, nobody's going to buy this stuff. The Porsche Cayenne was known for mall crawling, going to soccer practice, and a girl car. I wanted to change that. I wanted to change the narrative. So I developed the roof racks. I developed the off-road bumpers. We built lift kits for them. I mean, we pushed those cars to the limit where, you weren't used to seeing. And we actually proved it by jumping over a GT3 RS, a $400,000 Porsche 911, over 70 feet. 40 feet. We're gonna put a GT3 RS in between it, and we're gonna jump that.
So how you feel, fellas?
So I don't feel it's a good idea.
You said you wanted to jump that, not us.
I came here upon my own will.
Like I said, you gotta commit. Just look at your speedometer, keep it right at 50, you'll be good. Yeah.
We went from selling, 20 lift kits a month to selling, 200 to 300 a month.
It flew off the shelves. I mean, we sold within the week.
I mean, our business just blew up overnight.
And that's when the expansion of Eurowise began.
Originally, when I first started, the entire online store was the office up behind you. And now, obviously, it's an entire warehouse that's fully stocked.
So back here is where we do all of our manufacturing. We have over 400 SKUs that we manufacture in-house. We're shipping all over the world. We ship to European countries, Dubai, Asia. This is a rear bumper, and it actually has a fuel cans. It has a full-size spare tire mount, so you can put a full-size spare tire on it. And then this is a high-lift jack. This is an off-road jack that you would use to lift the car. Of course, it has a bottle opener. We've had $1 million cars here, Ferraris and Lamborghinis and that stuff. How much is a McLaren? Is this a GT? 250? Just 250. This is the merch wall.
He's the trendsetter for the industry. He literally created the off-roading for the Porsche Cayenne movement, which I find to be absurd. And he did that all through this tenacity and creative genius.
I think at that time, God was like, all right, let me throw something else at you. And I woke up one morning and I felt this bump on my neck, and I was like, all right, this is nothing. And I didn't think I would be talking about this, but I went to the doctor and got a scan, and I had lymphoma. Yeah, I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. And yeah, it was a struggle, just to think that like it could happen.
At the time, it really shook up our world.
And it was like worse, like as bad as it could get. And they were like, you got to start tomorrow. And like 2 weeks later, I was already getting chemo.
And he was here Monday morning, every single day at 7 a.m. after his chemos on Saturday. never missed a work day.
I don't think I found out about his cancer diagnosis for a few months.
It doesn't surprise me that he was quiet about it. He's not a loud, outspoken, boisterous guy necessarily. He's a quiet fighter that just keeps doing the work.
It just helps you like appreciate life and the things that actually mattered. And I think at the time we were just so focused in work and cars and trying to grow the business and just be like successful that it was kind of like, all right, take a step back.
He went into remission 2 years ago.
And, we pushed through it and, life is good. God was good to us. And right after, that's when Emmy was born.
And it's still something that we have to live with, especially myself now that we have our little one, because non-Hodgkin's is not curable. It goes into remission and it does come back at a later stage in life. But that is something that we're gonna have to deal with one day.
It gives us purpose in life, like this whole Eurowise thing has been my dream and passion forever. But now that we have her, there's like, I have meaning, I have something that I can do for her later on in life. I heard a quote the other day, do what you love, you'll never work a day of your life. And I think that's BS, because chasing your passion is gonna be the hardest dollar you earned.
It's an all-day thing. It's not a 9-to-5 job for him. It never was a 9-to-5 job.
He's a grinder, he's gonna make it.
The vision was always there since I met him day one, and it has come to life. I'm super proud of that for him.
God doesn't give you any shortcuts in life. If you really want it, you gotta go out and get it and be resilient.